The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Tracy Pa with the news. In this edition, research reveals SAV starts with cultural beliefs, Morbe PJ defense spending, and Candace relinquish top sport to Murks. The sorcery accusation-related violence has been amongst the biggest issues in culturally diverse Papua New Guinea for many years. Recently, a video was circulating on social media showing young men in the Sepik region married to elderly women whom they accused of performing sorcery. The Melanesian Institute last week released to the media its third research on SAV. The content in the research paper revealed some critical findings.
The Melanesian Institute released 3 research papers last week titled Why SAV Matters for PNG Churches, The Role of Healthcare in Tackling SAV, and SAV Community-Based Strategies, Faith Leadership, and Social Transformation in Papua New Guinea and East Indonesia. These researchers revealed critical findings about the origin of sorcery accusation-related violence, or SAV, how SAV can be minimized, and similarities and differences of SAV across all the regions in the country. Director of Melanesian Institute, Brother Martin Tinine, said researchers show that the SAV starts with cultural beliefs on certain misfortune in the community. He said someone would then speculate why and how it happened, resonating the story with the local belief system. He said when the speculation reaches the entire community, the speculation is now accepted as truth given the already existing cultural beliefs. This is the stage where SAV happens.
The violence follows these pathways: uncertainty, rumor, fear, social tension, and collective mobilization. So that when there is uncertainty surrounded an illness or death or misfortune, then you have rumor, and rumor being circulated in the community. When it's being circulated, then gradually gain acceptance of the community and legitimize it. Once it's accepted as a truth in the community, then somebody is being named as responsible for that uncertainty. And then people collectively moving, whether it is mobilized or voluntarily participating in accusing and torturing people.
Brother Martin said the finding is same across PNG, from cultural belief to speculation associated with that belief and then action. However, the research also revealed that not all regions in the country take the same approach on SAV.
These are the common patterns in all the regions.
Brother Martin said Melanesian Institute had conducted research in Central, Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Enga, Simbu, Eastern Highlands, and Madang, including West Papua. He said the research outcome shows that SAV must be given equal attention, as do other development agendas by the governments.
There should be more coordinated collaboration between the churches, the communities, and also the government. The government need to put money into it for the rapid response in the community and also facilitate the process of prosecution This is a very important. It's not about it is not about the program or it is more than that. It's that we are dealing with human life.
The Melanesian Institute noted that Chimbu Province has embraced the fight against SARV and is the model province in the country. Its leaders, including Noah Cool, James Nomane and Kerangakua, have been supportive in the SARV awareness program. Rex Lita, TVWAN News.
Managing Director of Trans Wonderland, Larry Andagali, has raised concerns about leaders making bold statements in Parliament without first verifying the facts. Andagali made these comments following remarks by member for Bau, Sepuka Temu, who questioned the involvement of his company in the proposed Milo offshore drilling project during the recent Parliament session. He clarified that TWAL is no longer part of AgroMarine. The company named by Sepuka has been engaged in the Milo offshore drilling program. You can read more on this story on TVWAN online. Police officers from the Northern Command provinces of Morobe, Madang, Eastern Highlands and Ley Metropolitan Command graduated in Ley Morobe Province after completing the intelligence training program to strengthen intelligence capabilities on Friday, May 29th. The training program was conducted with the support of the Australian Federal Police and the PNG to Australia Policing Partnership. 24 police officers were certified with intelligence capabilities on Friday, May 29, 2026, after completing an intensive 4-day practical workshop designed to strengthen intelligence capabilities within the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. The training program was conducted with the support of the Australian Federal Police and the PNG to Australia Policing Partnership, whose continued commitment to capacity building and professional development within Papua New Guinea's policing sector was acknowledged during the closing ceremony as well. Morobe Provincial Police Commander Chief Superintendent Samson Siguyaro officially closed the intelligence training program. He congratulated and commended the participants for their commitment, discipline and active engagement through the workshop and encouraged them to apply the skills and knowledge acquired during the training within their respective operations. He said that intelligence plays a critical role in modern policing and police management, enabling law enforcement agencies to make informed operational and strategic decisions, prevent crime, identify criminal networks, assess risk, and respond effectively to emerging security threats. The PPC said the partnership between the AFP, PNG, and APP and RPNGC continue to strengthen policing capabilities, promote professionalism, and enhance community safety and national security across Papua New Guinea. The Measurement Service Division from the Department of Education has rolled out an online student information booklet to fill in data for students' assessments. This digitalized system is as convenient and efficient. A student assessment data system has been established by the Measurement Service Division of the Department of Education to enter assessment data for grade 10 and 12 students who will be sitting for national exams. The exercise started this year. In the past, a student information booklet was issued to all high school and secondary schools. Students filled them in and they were sent back to the MSD team. Unfortunately, human error was a huge challenge. When the number of schools and students started to increase, it complicated the task and became burdensome for the MSD team. Assistant Secretary for Examinations, Kwagi Dua, said since the launch of the online student information booklet, there has been a significant improvement with minimal error.
Last year was the first year and we realized a big, significant improvement, reduction of errors and omissions. We had only 15 cases of reprints of certificates or issues dealing with student data. So all schools, including our permitted schools, having grade 10 and 12, will now go online. They are provided with credentials. The system is secured, it's cloud-based, on 24/7. Can be accessed anywhere, anytime, runs throughout the year.
School principals, deputies and inspectors from Madang's 34 high schools and secondary schools in attendance a 3-day workshop to get up to speed with this online data system. Most schools in Madang are in rural and remote areas where internet connectivity is a huge challenge. Mr. Dua explained that the system was built to be worked in offline mode and updated once in a while with internet connection. He said this will elevate the stress a little and allow students to continue updating student information when need be.
95% of the time, the information that is required is done offline. And the system generates what the Excel template. For editing, making changes, they would need to go online to make whatever changes that they want to make. Changes can be made, additions, they can edit whatever they have uploaded.
The online student data system comprises of student personal information, academic subjects, optional subjects data and assessments, student picture and signature. If a student is suspended, withdraw or desist, the system allows for update of this information. A step further is also the generation of student certificate numbers within the system. The Measurement Service Division ensures a strict compliance of all schools' data collection and honesty in student information. The government has launched a Governors Ending Malaria Coalition, bringing together provincial leaders to step up the fight against malaria. A new national strategy is also in place, backed by millions in funding to reduce infections and save lives.
The government launched the Governors Ending Malaria Coalition in Parliament, uniting leaders from provinces hardest hit by the disease. The initiative was introduced alongside the National Strategic Plan for Malaria 2026 to 2030, supported by 16.7 million kina in government funding and a $32 million pledge from the Global Fund. Papua New Guinea remains one of the highest malaria-burdened countries in the Western Pacific, with nearly 1 million cases reported last year. Health Minister Elias Kapavore says malaria is preventable and treatable, with plans to expand bed nets, improve diagnosis, and strengthen surveillance systems. Provincial leaders say stronger health systems, political will, and community ownership will be key to tackling the disease. They also warned that misuse of resources and funding gaps could slow progress if not properly addressed. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
You're watching TVWAN News. After the break, Morabe PAJ defend expenses and NCD PAJ address labor ward issues at Port Moresby General Hospital.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSP's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSP's One Talk Wallet. PSP's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
When you're all in, anything can happen. Grab a Coca-Cola and enjoy the moment.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Pine PNG made.
Papa come close to Laos. Kaya no ready yet. Mak blem belatya. Mam's too rasta. Suppose him no ready. Ayo. Dia mamas lepas him lo paps. I'm sure him way blue meal geta.
From our homes, where every morning starts with a taste we all love. A taste that holds memories and shared stories. A taste that can bring friends together. Made with care and loved in every corner of PNG. Inspired by our champions and rooted by our family values. Snacks, so crunchy and tasty, it's irresistible.
Back-to-back premiers for the first time ever in AFLW.
2 years undefeated.
Welcome back. The Morobe Provincial Health Authority has had to defend its spending after the Health Minister, Elias Kapovore, mentioned in Parliament that 100 million kina was allocated to the province this year. He stressed that while funds are given to PAGs, there is nothing to show for on ground.
During the 11th Parliament sitting for Friday, May 29, 2026, Health Minister Elias Kapovore stressed that the national government has increased its funding allocation to provincial health authorities or PHAs around the country.
You don't talk about money. Government will give you money. So that's our responsibility. We commit funding because we have health plan and stuff. It's up to the provinces, the PHs to make sure that the funding is fully utilized so that all money can, all man, all patients, economic services. People, I see a lot of comments coming out from Morobe PHA. Morobe PHA will 100 million kina is a budget. 100 million kina, just imagine that. Plus 30 million infrastructure. There's a lot of funding going.
Residents then questioned the Morobe PHA on where the money is being put, with CEO Dr. Kipas Benga explaining that 82.16 million kina has been appropriated to personal emoluments. This is an increase from 74.19 million kina in 2025. With this increase, MOPHA recruited 425 new staff by February 2026, mainly deployed to districts to strengthen frontline services. 11.87 million kina was set aside for day-to-day operational costs across Morobe PHA, not just Angau, 6.76 million kina for utilities and rentals, 6.11 million kina in functional grants that provided targeted support for specific health programs and district-level service delivery, and 29.09 million kina for capital works. Lay MP and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso acknowledged that despite all this, the fact remains that Angau has issues in serving the people. He said an audit will be conducted into all of MOPHA's operations, including its financials, manpower, and management. Kamela Nguare, TVWAN News, Lay.
The National Capital District Provincial Health Authority has released a statement acknowledging the concerns raised by members of the public regarding the overcrowding of the labour ward at Port Moresby General Hospital and the limited capacity for maternity services across the nation's capital. According to the NCDPJ, the concerns being voiced are legitimate and reflect a reality that it takes very seriously and is working with partners to resolve it. NCD Provincial Health Authority Chief Executive Officer Dr. Robin Oge in a media statement issued today, said NCPJ is actively working in partnership with the National Department of Health, Port Moresby General Hospital, the National Capital District Commission, the local district development authorities, and other stakeholders to address the labor ward issue at PMGH. August said most of the health facilities under NCDPAJ were constructed in the 1970s and 1980s. They are between 30 and 40 years old, and many have not received substantive infrastructure rehabilitation. Demand for maternity and primary health care has grown well beyond the capacity of this aging infrastructure. NCDPAJ recognizes that until the infrastructure footprint catches up with the population it serves, the pressure on PMGH and on the families who rely on it will remain. He said NCDPAJ has organized its response around 3 time horizons: immediate actions already in place and being expanded, medium-term projects under construction, and long-term investments that will fundamentally reshape how healthcare is delivered in the NCD. Dr. Oge acknowledged the feedback and, importantly, the midwives, nurses, doctors, and community health workers who continue to deliver health care under difficult conditions. Papua New Guinea is entering a period of sustained economic growth and investment, driven by major resource projects, including Papua LNG, Wafu Golpu, Pasca A, and other future petroleum developments expected to come online over the next decade and beyond. Prime Minister James Marape said the country's energy sector remains a key pillar of Papua New Guinea's long-term economic strategy and will continue to generate employment, business opportunities, government revenue, and broader economic benefits for Papua New Guineans.
Prime Minister James Marape, in a statement, said Papua LNG remains one of the country's most important development priorities. Once it reaches final investment decision, it is expected to trigger a continuous pipeline of major energy investments and construction activity across the country. He said these projects will provide long-term construction activity, production opportunities, employment, and revenue for Papua New Guinea. He added that the country's economy continues to be supported by major resource developments, particularly in the oil and gas sector, while agriculture and other non-resource sectors continue to contribute strongly to economic growth. The Prime Minister also noted that the non-mining and petroleum sector has recorded growth of approximately 4%, led largely by the agriculture sector, where the majority of Papua New Guineans continue to earn their livelihoods. He said while the government may not have solved all of the country's socio-economic challenges, it remains focused on growing the economy, increasing national participation in resource projects, and ensuring Papua New Guinea receives a greater share of the benefits from its natural resources. Marape said projects such as the Papua LNG project in Gulf Province and the Wafi Golpu project in Morobe Province would generate additional revenue, strengthen foreign exchange reserves, and create long-term economic opportunities for Papua New Guineans. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
Papua New Guinea's economy had grown significantly over the past 2 decades, increasing from approximately 17 billion kina in 2002 to more than 130 billion kina today, with projects for continued growth through strategic investments, research reforms, agriculture, infrastructure development, and greater participation by Papua New Guinean businesses. Prime Minister James Marape, when speaking at the People's Party fundraising dinner over the weekend, said the government's objective has always been to grow the economy so that the government has the resources necessary to invest in opportunities for the people.
Papua New Guinea's economy has experienced remarkable growth over the past 2 decades, rising from around 17 billion kina in 2002 to over 130 billion kina today. This growth trajectory is expected to continue, driven by strategic investments, resource reforms, agricultural development, infrastructure projects, and increased participation from local businesses. During a recent fundraising dinner for the People's Party, Prime Minister James Marape emphasized the government's commitment to economic growth. He highlighted that the primary objective has always been to expand the economy to ensure that the government can allocate sufficient resources for critical sectors such as health, education, law and order, infrastructure, including roads, and to create opportunities for the people of Papua New Guinea. Prime Minister Marape also highlighted major reforms undertaken by his government to secure better returns from the country's natural resources, citing recent project negotiations that have significantly increased the state's overall benefits from resource developments. He said these efforts were aligned with the government's broader vision of ensuring Papua New Guinea receives a greater share of benefits from its resources while creating opportunities for future generations. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The Kina closed lower at $0.2291 US in the interbank market. At Banksa Pacific, Akina was buying $0.2216 US, $0.3050 Australian dollars, $0.1821 euro, and 35.07 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, crude oil and copper closed higher, gold and cocoa closed lower, and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. TV1 News continues after the break. Stay with us.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Talks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
When you're all in, anything can happen. Grab a Coca-Cola and enjoy the moment.
Mom's late. Why hasn't she called? Dad doesn't like it when she's late. He's not going to be happy. Hope nothing bad happens. I'm proud of what I just saw. He's showing a change for the better.
You have to meet my best friend. She's the sweetest. Hey, check out my hair.
Which one? The one on your head or the one in the sink? Relax. Next time, just use the Mega Growth Anti-Damage Relaxer. It's infused with wonder oils and conditioning proteins for visibly less hair breakage after retouching. Now your hair looks great.
Thank you.
Mega Growth Anti-Damage No-Light Cream Relaxer for visibly less hair breakage after retouching.
It is bouncing off the upright try. Big shot coming in. Tamika wrapped it around the fullback, and she'll score the first try with a 10-metre slide. Walker with a kick, it'll be a try to tie. He nearly got there. Another kick in behind. The Haggard's there. Okay, you're off. Wow, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable in front of him. He gets it back. He's going to race away. And he gets straight.
Welcome back. Papua New Guineans are gaining new job opportunities in Australia following a recent labour mobility expo involving Australian employers. 27 employers under the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Scheme visited training hubs in East New Britain and East Sepik. Australian High Commissioner Ewan McDonald said it supports Australia's workforce needs in remote and regional areas while creating life-changing opportunities for Papua New Guineans. Benefit not only workers but their families and communities. Skills training in areas such as forklift operations and trades is equipping workers with practical experience for overseas employment. Healthcare training is also expanding, with nursing students preparing for opportunities abroad. A new program is being rolled out to help Queensland teachers better cater for students with complex needs. The government says up to a quarter of children at Queensland state schools have a disability.
Wendy Collins is a teacher with more than 20 years' experience. She's noticed an increase in kids at school with complex needs.
When I first started teaching, I think there may have been one student in the school. Now, in classrooms, it's actually 20%, 30% of the kids in the school.
The government says up to 1 in 4 students has a disability.
Disability takes many different forms.
Over the last few years, we've seen more and more complex students enter our schools.
It's prompted the government to find new ways to better equip teachers.
We're partnering with 2 universities to either offer a graduate diploma or micro-credentials in areas like autism and ADHD.
It's something Wendy Collins is keen to take up. When she was at university, she says disability wasn't a focus of her degree.
No training in any way to be able to support kids with disabilities in the classroom.
It's a similar story for fellow teacher Jasmine Henry.
At university, I remember doing one unit on diverse learners. It really wasn't targeted for students with disability though, from what I remember.
The government is offering these courses to up to 200 teachers a year over the next 3 years. But that's just a fraction of the almost 50,000 educators in the classroom.
Well, I think it's important to have made a start.
What do I enjoy about the job? It's actually the simple things. It's seeing the kids who struggled with something, who have success.
Hundreds of people have gathered at the Shrine of Remembrance today to remember the First Nations veterans who served Australia. The event, now in its 28th year, came after a prolonged push to recognise the discrimination Indigenous servicemen and women suffered in past decades. A warning to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers, this story contains images and references to people who have died.
Remembering their service in the midst of Reconciliation Week.
There was a time when Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander veterans weren't recognised. They were excluded from the record books.
The Victorian Aboriginal Remembrance Service commemorates the sacrifice of Indigenous people who have served in all major conflicts and peacekeeping operations, including thousands in the First and Second World War. Many were refused pensions and entitlements and denied service at RSL clubs. It's a story Army veteran Mick Vorza knows well. His great-great-uncles fought in the Second World War.
One died in France and then his other brother went and served and came back and, he couldn't even have a beer in the pub.
There is actually that really raw memory, but there's also this memory of mateship where the non-Indigenous soldiers stood up for a lot of people.
The service is the brainchild of the late Auntie Dot Peters. Her father died as a prisoner of war building the Thai-Burma Railway, but his family was denied the compensation other servicemen received.
The head of Anzac House was a Victorian RSL. At that time he didn't want the service and so on. It was very difficult.
20 years after winning that fight, similar events are now held across the country.
I just know how proud Mum would be
to see the event today and to see all the people that come and turn up.
You can't change the past, but we can certainly change the future.
A group of aging palm trees in Darwin, native to parts of northern Australia and Asia, has begun to flower in a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. The corypha otter palm flowers and drops seeds at the end of its life, leaving visitors just a few weeks to see the trees blossom.
A final show before it drops its leaves and seeds and dies. More than 20 of these unique trees in Darwin's parks are in the last phase of their long lives.
It's bittersweet. It's really cool to see because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but also now they're going to die.
The Corypha utan, also known as the gabang palm, is found throughout much of Asia, but its Australian population is confined to the wetlands of Arnhem Land and Cape York. Exactly when these trees were planted and who collected the seeds is unclear.
In the mid-1980s, I collected several hundred or thousands of seeds, like round golf ball nuts, brought them back, and it coincides with what the age of these are now, so likely is the ones we're seeing flowering.
I brought back seeds of this one and gave them George Brown and had a few myself, don't know what happened to them. And that's where these corypha plants, G-bung is it? Now they get called where they came from.
While Corypha utans are not formally listed as a threatened species in the territory, there's concern from traditional owners of Arnhem Land's Arafura swamp that numbers are declining in the wild.
Any significant changes in sea level, for example, that might change the balance between salt and fresh water that they experience, and that could be one of them. And I guess another one would be if there's potential impacts in these wetland systems that they occur in from, things like buffalo and pigs.
Back in Darwin, the council has confirmed the dying palms will be replaced.
We're going to collect some seeds and grow some on. Yeah. They're a really good palm in Darwin. They do really well and they're quite, stately in the landscape. So, yeah, we like them.
Ensuring there's a home for a new generation of this unique palm.
The Northern Territory's Infrastructure Minister says the U.S. Navy has expressed interest in using Darwin's controversial Darwin ship lift once it's built. Last month's NT budget revealed the project's cost as blown away by another $30 million, taking it to $850 million in total. Bill Yan says around half of that has been spent, with work ramping up in the coming months.
At the top end of Australia sits an embattled infrastructure project set to finally be completed early next year.
We've got day shift, night shift on this site, 180 employees or workers running around doing the work that you see here at the moment, so we're aiming for that March completion date.
The late rush to finish the Darwin ship lift coming 11 years after it was first announced, at a cost to taxpayers 8 times what was originally pledged. And despite the massive spend, all revenue will go to Australia's largest pearling company, not the NT government.
To walk away from the contract would cost too much and we would lose the investment that we've put in so far. So the smart thing to do, which is what the CLP government has done, has taken the project on.
The Infrastructure Minister now spruiking its benefits, including potential high-profile users.
I believe that the US are also watching this project closely to see how it can benefit them.
Part of the US being attracted to doing more from Darwin, and it is doing more from Darwin, is the broader assets that are here.
At the beginning of the year, it was announced the ship lift would form part of a wider northern marine complex, a proposed base for ship maintenance services, hoping to cash in on the new facility.
Electricians, mechanics, welders, painting and blasting. There is so much required to work on vessels when they come out of the water. We'll do some of that heavy lifting to prepare the marine precinct for investment, but then we want to see private sector investment to come in and partner with government and partner with the project that we have here to grow that marine economic benefit longer term.
Legislation setting access rules and prices for use of the ship lift is set to be introduced to Parliament later this year.
Last drinks have been called at Brisbane's Victoria Park, with the location to make way for the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Stadium. But before construction begins, there's been last-ditch effort to preserve parkland. Today, the federal government knocked back 2 applications made under heritage protection laws. But some demonstrators insist it's not too late to stop the stadium build.
The start of forever for this happy couple marks the end of the road for Victoria Park. High school sweethearts Amy and Isaac are the last couple to be married at the Brisbane venue.
Also, my grade 11 semi-formal was here,
which
we were both at.
Yeah.
So it's got over a decade of history for us.
For 27 years, it's been a popular place for a meal or spot of golf. But from tomorrow, Victoria Park and its surrounding green space will be cleared to make way for a 60,000-seat Olympic stadium.
There's no delays, we're getting on with it. At midnight this evening, Victoria Park will be transferred ownership to the Games Independent Infrastructure Coordination Authority.
It's a 180 on a pre-election commitment.
If you're asking me whether or not I support a new stadium, the answer is no, and I've been clear about that.
A broken promise that stoked ongoing demonstrations. On Friday, tensions boiled over when police removed protest camps. Today,
Save Victoria Park!
Protesters made their way through the park, repeating calls to protect the site's cultural significance.
While they're bringing everyone, all the nations together, they're destroying this Aboriginal nation.
This park, ladies and gentlemen, is precious to every citizen of the City of Brisbane.
The federal government is considering a number of applications under the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Heritage Protection Act, but that act doesn't carry stop work powers, which means construction may forge ahead despite further protests.
They've had plenty of opportunity to vacate the park so we can get on with the job.
We have not given up. It is not a done deal, and we are still fighting, and we need you.
In sports after the break, a big shift of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup Round 8 Challenge. Marooks take lead in competition ladder and the Barries moved up.
In today's fast-moving world, visibility and presence is everything. But how do you make sure your brand or message stands out? You need a partner that offers a 360-degree advertising solution, covering every touchpoint, every platform, and every screen. From concept creation to media buying, from our own TV stations and website to premium content and powerful digital campaigns, from billboards to bulk SMS that reaches millions, and high-quality production that brings your vision to life. Wherever your audience is, Trend Media will place you in the spotlight. Call Trend Media now on 7222-0210 or email trendmediapng@digitalpacific.com. Trend Media, your 360-degree advertising and digital partner.
How is it?
Almost.
Try again. Come on now.
Spring sun of Suncorp Stadium on Nine's Wide World of Sports. We are underway.
The signal always brings us together. Purchase your Digicel Red Dish DTH kit for only 249 kina at the nearest outlet.
Digicel TV. More channels, more choices, more value.
Digicel TV brings you PNG's #1 sports channels. TVWAN Sports, TVWAN Sports 2 and 3. Get these 3 favorite TVWAN Sports channels with your exclusive access to the NRL Premiership season, the State of Origin series, Host Plus Cup, Digicel Digicel ExxonMobil Cup, and more. Stay up to date and watch all the action live and exclusive. Get your 40-channel Digicel prepaid pack now and watch these 3 sports channels along with 37 other free channels. Subscribe now on the 40-channel Digicel prepaid pack for a 1, 7, 14 or 30-day plan. Enjoy the 40 channels of world-class entertainment and live sports. Dial star 515 hash to subscribe now.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
The best attack in the league against the second best.
Welcome back. A delegation of Papua New Guinea media representatives has departed for Australia as part of an international media visit focused on the National Rugby League. The program aims to strengthen understanding of the NRL ahead of PNG's planned entry into the competition in 2028. The delegation includes journalists from leading media organizations across the country, representing print, radio, and television platforms. They will engage with key organizations across the rugby league system, gaining insight into media operations and coverage while building skills and strengthening ties between PNG and Australia media. Round 8 of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition 2026 wrapped up in a remarkable fashion yesterday. The Kandes relinquished top spot to the Muruks, and the Baris made a huge move on the competition points table.
PRK Gulf Iso and Asila Wagitumbe opened the Round 8 clashes up in Mins, Jiwaka Province on Saturday. Iso's keeper Kenny Laho put a brilliant 3 tries performance to break the heart of host on the home soil 22-18. On Saturday, games were played in Port Moresby, Lae Goroka and Wabeg. The doubleheader at Lae Rugby League Ground witnessed the NCD Port Moresby Vipers and Lae Snakes Tigers go head-to-head, which Tigers won 24-16. Mandy Muruks and Mount Hagen Eagles round up the clash in Lae, with Muruks coming out winners 30 points to 10 in a big win. The Muruks ran 6 tries to 2, thanks to winger Jamie Pook, who scored the double to help his side to victory. In the nation's capital, it was Egma Gurias who claimed the upset win over Hella Wigman, 34 points to 24. The Wigmen led the contest throughout the match until the final 4 minutes. 2 quick successive tries in the final quarter of the game saw Gurias prevailed in the end. Up at the National Sports Institute in Goroka, it was 14-all draw between Goroka Lahanis and Kandes. Both teams scored 3 tries each and converted 1 from 3. Further up in the Highlands, the Central Dabaris outmuscled the host Enga Mioks 18 points to 13 in Wabeg. At the conclusion of the round, Muruks moved to the top of the food chain and Kandes dropped down to second spot. After beating Wigman, Gurias secured third spot and Wigman settled in 4th place. Vipers and Dabaris takes up 5th and 6th place respectively. Lahanis, Eagles, Tigers and Mioks makes up the top 10, while Iso and Wagitumbe are in the bottom 2 positions. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
The East Britain Egma Gurias overcome 2 Sinbins in their Round 8 clash against the Cotton Hella Wigmen to come off with a win 34 points to 24 at the Sir John Guy Stadium yesterday. The thrilling encounter went down to the wire. Gurriers prevailed in the end with Emmanuel Alfred scoring the match winner just before full-time.
Two of Digicel ExxonMobil Cup heavyweights, Croton Hella Wigman and East New Britain Agma Gurriers, put up an entertaining contest from the first whistle to the final siren. For the first 20 minutes of the first half, tries were hard to come by until a Gurriers player, Emmanuel Alfred, was sent to the bin. Alfred was shown the touchline by the match referee for holding down in a tackle after Wigman halfback Lotte Kuman made the clean break and charged down.
You got to stand there.
Somebody is going out, and that is Emmanuel Alfred.
Yeah, it's the number 9, Emmanuel.
The Wigman capitalized on this to open the scoreboard through second rower Sylvester Moria.
But good play there from the halfback of Lotte Kuman. They're short if he can get it out. That's short, the number 11 looking for runners, and he's gone over and scored. Sylvester Moria has gone over and scored the first.
The East New Britain franchise replied with a try to fast finishing centre Emil Benjamin, giving hope to the 12-man Gurriers team. The Wigmen again show their might by sending over Gilmore Paul for back-to-back tries to lead 16-4 at half-time. Second half was fierce, with Gurriers asserting their dominance from the get-go, testing the Wigmen's middle and edges. It resulted in an immediate try to halfback Mark Alunga. What followed next was a momentum killer. Bradley Angra was given the marching orders, a second sin bin for the Gurriers.
This is the second Gurrier player in this half to be sent off, so something obviously discipline not working well. So the Gurriers getting a bit frustrated.
The Wigmen hit back shortly after through Stafford zone, but it was one-way traffic after that, with Alunga scoring his second try and then Alfred crossing the line for the match winner with just 4 minutes left on the clock. Entertainer Chris Benjamin closed the game as the full-time siren went with a stunning solo try.
Number set, blind side, wanted the ball, Alfred on the inside to Terry Wapi. Wapi goes through, but his tackles, good defense coming through from Alfred, gets up and simply just walks over and scores. Where was the... Can the Gurriers back-to-back tries, can they put this game to rest? Alunga calls for the ball, look bit forward, bit suspect. It's gone out to Benjamin, decides to kick the ball. It's kicked over by Benjamin, the fullback. Can he get it? Yes, he does. He'll go over and dive straight over and score, and that will be the game for this afternoon.
Gurriers coach Wartovo Pora Jr. was impressed with the game his side put up. He looks forward to the game against the Port Moresby Vipers this weekend.
We know it's going to be tough. Wigmen, they're really aggressive side. But I know I have a team, I have a group of boys that I believe in them, and I know that we have a team that can win. And the big thing for us again is going back, focusing on our process again, our training, how we prepare for Vipers is a big deal. Vipers is a good side, and at the moment we don't want to really think about them, but the focus is on ourselves.
Rex Lita, TVWAN Sports.
Gurriers halfback Mark Alunga has had his finger in almost all the highlights of the game against the Wigmen and was fully rewarded with player of the match. He was as tough as nails in defense on the edge and was equally impressive in attack, steering the team to a commanding win. He scored one of Gurriers' 6 tries and had a good time with the boat, converting 5 out of the 6. Alunga said the team came prepared. He said they were under scoreboard pressure in the most part of the game, but kept their play simple and it paid off in the end. He is now looking forward to the game against the Vipers this weekend.
We were outside to come inside. During the game, message to coach and just keep it simple and walk, repeat set or walk to kick. So, mibla ba niwan na sa coach talk na mibla kamot ang tewin.
This and the sports segment, and now the weather. Southern Port Moresby, partly cloudy with chances of brief showers and rain drizzles. Taro and Alotau mostly fine. Momase, late cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms. Madang and Vanimo, partly cloudy with few showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, mostly cloudy with some showers. Keviang, Kokopo and Rabaul, partly cloudy with few showers. And Highlands region, all centers, partly cloudy with possible few showers. Ocean forecast for PNG areas for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea sees light with southeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. Solomon Sea sees light to moderate with south to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea sees light with south to southeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean sees light to moderate with south to southwest winds of 10 to 20 knots. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel and all Milne Bay Islands and waters of New Island and Bougainville sees 1.5 to 2 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands and waters of New Britain sees 0.5 to 1.5 meters. This ends another edition of TV1 News. Pleasant viewing. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by